The more we hope to see light at the end of the tunnel of insecurity in Zamfara State, the more something happens to dash it. The government has raised an alarm that members of the Islamic State in West African province, ISWAP, have been setting up camps around Mutu village in Gusau Local Government Area. Addressing newsmen in Gusau, the chairman of Zamfara State Committee for the Prosecution of Banditry and Related Offences, Abdullahi Shinkafi, said bandits have also invited 1,200 fighters from other places to attack 21 communities in the states. Let's share the story by TVC News Theophilus Dorafai.
Zamfara has been in the news in the last few days for the wrong reasons following a resurgence of banditry, kidnapping, and political clashes. Communities in the state have suffered the brunt of banditry for over 13 years. 3 local government councils, 9 township roads, weekly markets, and other sensitive areas were recently shut down due to bandits' activities. The state government is worried by this development. It says Boko Haram and ISWAP insurgents now have camps in the state. Addressing a press conference in Gusau, Chairman of the State Committee on the Prosecution of Banditry and Related Offences, Abdullahi Shinkafi, says 80 suspects were arrested.
And there are also some security report around Njim Konchin Kalko, ISWAP, the Boko Haram insurgents have started having a camp in Mutu, in Mada area. And that is why you had that Mada also movement was restricted in Mada area.
He adds that 1,200 bandits were invited to the state by other bandits to attack 21 communities, and the activities of bandit informants led to a recent attack on army troops. 85 suspected bandit informants, including their teller, were arrested, while over 60 motorcycles and weapons were recovered.
It was informer who called the major, the unit commandant in Kaura, that armed bandits came to attack Abdullahi. And on their way to repel the attack, this armed bandit lay ambushed.
Mr. Shinkafi also says the deployment of Kolo Yusuf as Zamfara State Commissioner of Police has reduced the rate of criminal activities as notorious bandits, kidnappers, and collaborators have been arrested. Mr. Shinkafi told newsmen that he has been threatened by bandits and other criminals in the state. He appeals to the media to support government in the fight against crime. Theophilus Dorafai, TVC News, Gusau.
All right, that's 1,200 fighters, bandits inviting 1,200 fighters from other places to attack 21 communities.
From other camps. They have their camps already, but they will mobilize people from some camps to come and join them in raiding communities. They do that a lot so that they can have sufficient capacity to achieve their aim. This is the goal.
Those communities, I want to ask you, they are not communities that is anything close to like Lagos, where you can get big things. What are they? Why are you going to raid poor, harmless people?
So steal their cattle.
Okay.
A lot of, you see hamlets, but plenty of cattle.
Okay.
So they raid those communities, steal their
These
cattle.
are rustlers and bandits.
Yes. No, but these bandits, they do a lot of cattle rustling. You know, a lot of the bandits were originally even headsmen. Out of anger that, oh, they were stealing our cattle, you didn't do anything about it. They too now said, okay, if we can't beat them, let's join them. So a lot of them are retired headsmen. They are now full-time.
That profession is no longer, can never be as lucrative as banditry.
Yes, but
Never.
it was also a form of protest for some of them that they later became bandits. If we listen to some of their confessions, you know, the problem is outside that they will speak. They said it that, look, I used to have cattle of my own. Then I was constantly attacked. Nobody helped me. So I decided to also go into cattle rustling. So they, in those communities, they will raid people's livestock, not just cow, even goats and other, you know, they will raid them, take them away. So, and then they kidnap people, make those people to pay ransom. You know, a lot of the they are not. They don't. The semi-urban centers, they hardly attack semi-urban centers. It's still those rural communities, because even that's where you have people breeding cattle and all that. So this is the. Then there are a few local governments. Dansadao, in Maru local government, one of the largest local government in our country, is now relatively calm. But these days, we're experiencing a lot of attacks from Bukuyum, where you have the highest number of indigenous Christians in Zamfara. It's close to the Niger State. So you can suspect that more and more of those bandits from Niger are actually coming into Zamfara through Bukuyum. And then Safe local government as well. Attacks are now becoming constant again. So I can see why the government is worried now and trying to take some steps to close some highways and to try and make the state safer.
Then, Mujid, most of these areas, I think subsequent administration should try and work on our boundary areas. We have boundary commission, and we have a situation whereby the presence of government is not being felt in many of these places. They don't have roads, they don't have electricity, they don't have water. Do you understand? There's nothing like governance all around that place. So the safest thing for these guys to do is to join them.
And even internet connection.
Internet, no.
So many things. The areas are so wide that you can't even think of fencing it around. So that's why our borders are very porous. And bearing in mind that these guys were, most of them were formerly herdsmen, so they understand the routes. They know those forests inside out, so they know where to pass. So, but now at a point, the government was torn between banning the use of motorcycles, which is, I mean, one of the tools they use in quickly moving around. You see 3 or 4 of them on a bike, like up to about 300, moving at the same time when they are going to attack a village. So it's like they just swam on the village as if there's an Holocaust. So those kind of activities, it's something that at times I pity the Commissioner of Police in Zamfara, Kolo Yusuf. I imagine the kind of pressure is facing on a daily basis, especially given the fact that it's difficult to even get men recruited to the police. So it's a very serious situation we have on our hands. I mean, the bandits issue is on one side, and the issue of those getting involved in illegal mining activities is another one. So it's like a lot of things are happening in Zamfara that needs federal government intervention. They need to deploy more troops into that state to help flush some of these ISWAP characters out of that place, or at least provide some level of security for the residents. I mean, what they normally do is when they grab their cattle and also foodstuff, because they also need to feed, they also need to eat. So it's, you are saying that those places not like Lagos where you steal valuables, but then they need to eat. At times, they levy those farmers. The farmers pay some form of levies to them before they could be allowed to access their farms.
You know, somebody sent me a message now to say ABU, Ahmadu Bello University, this afternoon announced their resumption, but left the commencement of lectures till January.
Wow.
When all outstanding salary arrears might have been paid. So they've put that one in...
like caveat.
Yes, they're waiting.
January.
They're waiting. So if you don't pay...
Yes, UI too. UI is yet to, as at 3 o'clock today, UI is yet to announce the resumption dates. In fact, in some of the state universities, despite the fact that they called off the strike, they only resumed lectures this Monday. They called the strike off about...
those ones, at least those ones said January they will commence lectures. So the best thing I expect the minister to be doing is to be pushing for the Gbajabiamila committee
to release the
report
funds
to be implemented.
And that's 100 and something million.
Instead of
billion.
begging for Konwa. Use your position to push that they should honor the agreement with Gbajabiamila, because that's the main reason why they decided to
All right.
call it off.